Welcome back to Super Sentai Reviews. This is episode number 7, and I'm reviewing in this episode the not Mega Ranger, Timeranger versus GoGoFive. Yes, this movie. Now, this movie was adapted into the standalone, not two-parter, standalone episode, Time for Lightspeed, from Time Force. Now, pretty much with this one, basically, they're just, like, the Time Rangers are just dealing with normal stuff, like battling some new guy, and then, and then all of a sudden, like, while the battle is going on, Jinx, her Sentai counterpart, I don't remember his name, I think his name is, I'm trying to think, what was his name? He's basically, he's Jinx's, let's see, what is his name? I think his name is Perry. Yeah, Perry. Yeah, his name is Perry. And unlike in Lightspeed Rescue, where Jinxer was actually killed at the end of that particular, he was not killed. No, he was not killed at all. He actually survived. And unlike in Time for Lightspeed, where they used Vipra, they actually used in the Sentai, it's Perry, aka Jinxer, who is not in. I'm surprised they decided not to go with him as the one to team up with the villains of Time Force instead of Vipra. I honestly don't know why they never did this. I mean, it's a much different story than Time for Lightspeed. Simply put, he uses one of his spell cards that he had left over from GoGoFive during that particular run, and he just throws it at one of the cryo prisoners and just powers by giving him a boxing glove. Yeah, that's his power up. It's a boxing glove. And somehow they able to defeat him, and basically he goes back to Don Jadero. It's like, okay, how were you able to defeat him? Like, oh yeah, I got this boxing glove, and I don't know how I got it. And then Perry comes in, and then Lila, I think her name is, who is Nadir's counterpart in the Super Sentai. He's like, who the heck are you? I'm Perry of the Simon family. It's like, I've heard of them. Weren't they known for basically threats and blackmail? And he's like, yeah. But he says, oh yeah, we fall on hard times, and I propose an alliance. He does not tell him the Simon family was actually wiped out by the GoGoFive. The entire family was. I am not kidding. The entire family was pretty much wiped out by the GoGoFive, except for Viper's counterpart. She was not killed by the GoGoFive. She was actually killed while resurrecting Diabolico's counterpart. But everyone else was pretty much killed by the GoGoFive. Even Lokai's counterpart. Yeah. So he forms an alliance. Basically, he powers up a handful of their cryo prisoners, like a handful of them, to take on the GoGoFive. Take on Time Ranger. Now, GoGoFive, they actually were criticizing Time Ranger for not defeating the monster. So, yeah. And they're like, okay. So we say to hire them because their father got missing. Okay, fine. So, and of course the father that showed up later on, but basically when he disappeared, he took their morphers with him for some reason. Yeah, it's never explained why he took the morphers with him, but he did. It's like, oh, the demons are defeated. Okay, and of course, yeah, even though the course thing did end, GoGoFive did end with them basically sort of retiring to their home, stuff like that. Very happy ending. And then all of a sudden, he ups and disappears. There's no mention of what goes on with the mother. Yeah, there's no mention of it at all. And Yeah, it's completely unknown what happened to her. She could be just still in their hometown. Now, of course, the father does show up, and he did not know he was because, and apparently he left because he detected some negative energy. Yeah, the negative energy thing was a big thing, a big plot device in GoGoFive. So okay, let's just bring that back. It was basically not like hit over the head with it like it was in GoGoFive. It's more of a small scale in a way, but he did not know it was Perry. Now, according to GoGoFive, unlike the viewers knew that he actually survived, the GoGoFive thought he actually died with the rest of the demons. Okay. So they team up, they start to work with them, and of course the father shows up completely out of nowhere, gives them back their morphers, while the Time Rangers again their butts handed to them by the prisoners, which they got power-ups. Yeah, they got freaking power-ups. And they actually explain who these people are, like, one's... Okay, it explained, like, who these people are, like, one's like their crazy sister, cousin, uncle, neighbor. It's bizarre. It's like, okay, let's just reuse previous monster costumes again for this movie. Okay, fine. Now, the one Ranger from Time Ranger who plays a very, very small role in this particular movie is Timefire. Yeah. His role is relatively very small. Also, for some reason, the GoGoFive and Time Ranger go back in time. Yeah, they use some time traveling. Okay. And eventually they eventually have it where Circuit's counterpart, I don't remember his name in this Sentai. What is his name? His counterpart. His counterpart in the Sentai is let's see, what is his name? Tak. Yeah, Tak. He works with the professor of GoGoFive to get the Rangers back. Okay. And they have Timefire, who basically does his cheesy late 90s romance music. I am not kidding. If you heard the music, it sounds like a cheesy romance song. Very cheesy, very like, it kind of feels like early, maybe late 90s music. And he makes his entrance the same way he does in his first appearance. He has his gun, he does this. Bang. Bang. He does like, bang. Yeah, he just has his gun just tapping against his own hand. Apparently that's how he gets people's attention. And he does that in the movie too. And of course, the Sentai, he actually not been around for very long. He had just shown up just about almost 10 episodes prior to this one. So, yeah. So, they team up, the Rangers, all 11 of them, because GoGoFive, they technically have, they kind of had a sixth Ranger, but he only appeared for one movie. Yep. So, they pretty much defeat all of the monsters except for the first one who got the power up. And so after the GoGoFive and Time Rangers beat all the Rangers except one, they decided to have where Perry, like, okay, let's just throw him in there and have him merge with the other monster, become basically what the Super Demon was in Time for Lightspeed. So Time Ranger summons their Megazord. I think it's their Type A Megazord, the red Megazord. Anybody in a while, and the GoGoFive is like, dang, I really wish we had our Megazord. If only it was not buried underneath the frickin' harbor. Yeah, if it was not in the bottom of the harbor, their Bay 55. And then when the Time Ranger's Megazord gets knocked down, the professor's like, I've got an idea. And then he basically demands the Time Ranger's mech to stand up and then turn on that little portal, which basically shoots out his sword, and then he has his kids, basically the GoGoFive's kids, and he says, "Call upon your Megazord," and then the Megazord comes up, and this is a bit odd. It's like they use, even though you can tell basically they kind of use reused stock footage from GoGoFive, where it's the train and it's also the part that flies just so it can get through. And they summon the original mech. And Talk's like, no, don't do that, please. It's too big. Okay, you have to defeat this guy really quickly, and you have to send those things back. Okay, fine. So they form their mech, and for some people who actually like GoGoFive, I actually liked it too. It's kind of nice to see the original mech again. Unlike in Lightspeed Rescue, where it was destroyed. Yeah, if you watch Lightspeed Rescue, all the Megazords are destroyed at the very end because apparently Power Rangers has this thing where all the Megazords have to be pretty much destroyed by the end of the entire season. The first time they did this was the beginning of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3. And then from that time forward, most of the seasons will usually end with most or all of the Megazords destroyed. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And in Super Sentai, from the ones I've watched, none of the mechs were ever destroyed at all. They pretty much survived up until the very end. I mean, some of them were very heavily damaged by the time the Sentai were over with, but they generally were still sticking around. And I would say in the case of, there's only one Sentai I can think of where they actually destroyed most of the mechs, and that's Mega Ranger. Two of their Megazords were actually destroyed during the whole thing. The Delta Mega, which was a support Megazord, that was destroyed, just like in space, that was destroyed, and the Mega Winger was also destroyed as well. And just like in the Astro Megazord, it's never destroyed at all. Yeah, it's never destroyed, though they do kind of blow it up in Lost Galaxy, but that's here or there. But but this one basically the things were trapped underneath the ocean, and for some reason they couldn't have the governments who have been financing them the whole entire campaign of battling these demons to get the Bay 55 off the ocean floor. Yeah, for some reason they can't for some reason, and this is never explained. It's like they can't just call up the Japanese government and ask them, hey, can you basically get our mech bay off the ocean floor, please? Can you help us with that? It's like, okay, the demons are defeated. There's no reason why the mechs need to be brought up again. Yeah, that's only my one criticism of GoGoFive is that, and of course this film, is that they bring up the fact that if you didn't watch GoGoFive, you know that the Bay 55, which keeps their Megazords, is in the bottom of the ocean. And do they call the Japanese government to get off the floor? Nope. They never do. At all. But of course, one of the... now, I should point out that, I forgot to mention this in my GoGoFive review, the pink GoGoFive, who is the only woman in the whole group, she does come back a couple times after. She does come back one time after this in GoKaiger. Timeranger, the Yellow Ranger, he actually comes back for probably one of the best episodes, the whole entire thing. I'll get to that when I get to review GoKaiger. But they defeat the demon by having where they split him back up, where they imprison the crab prisoner, and they destroy Jinxer. And of course they pointed out before they destroyed him that the Time Rangers do not kill their monsters. They just basically imprison them. It's like, okay, let's just separate these two things out and then use the power to destroy Perry and imprison the other guy. And they're like, okay, fine. So that's how they defeat them. And then, of course, the mechs go back to the previous year. Overall, it's actually, of course, they celebrate at the very end. And it's a pretty interesting movie, but it does have one bad quality to it. If you didn't watch GoGoFive, you would not know who Perry was. You would not know about the Bay 55. It's not viewer-friendly for this one. Unlike the previous ones where you can just jump onto them no problem when you're watching the particular Sentai. Like the previous one, GoGoFive versus Gangamon. You don't have to have watched Gangamon to actually understand who. If you watch like in episode 2, the Gangamon extended, like who the heck these Rangers are, you have a pretty good idea of who you're dealing with. In the case of So the other ones, these movies so far, you have to have watched the previous Sentai to understand who these characters are fully, and what they're talking about is just GoGoFive for watching this film. You got to watch Mega Ranger to watch um, uh, Gingamon versus Mega Ranger. And but what about? I mean, there are some basically you don't have to watch the entire way through of the previous Sentai to understand who these characters are, as long as you have a pretty good understanding exactly who these characters are. But when they reference stuff like, well, the Simon family being destroyed, and the Bay 55 on the bottom of the ocean, you have to watch GoGoFive entirely all the way through in order to get that reference. That's really the whole thing. I mean, it does function really well as a good follow-up team movie, where it does tie up loose ends from GoGoFive, which does really well. I do praise it for that. Not many of these crossover films do tie up loose ends from the previous Sentai. Okay, but overall, I get this film a 8.5 out of 10. The only reason I can't get a half point off because the thing is, you have to watch GoGoFive all the way through before you watch this film, and of course, you got to have watched for Timeranger. You got to have watched the first 35 episodes to understand who the characters are, who the Timerangers are, and everything else. It's basically, if you watch this movie only without watching Timeranger, you would be completely lost. So I recommend before you watch this very movie that you watch all like 50 episodes. Actually, it's more like, I think it's like 48 episodes of GoGoFive. Let's see. Yeah, GoGoFive is 50 episodes, and Timeranger, I believe, is also 50. Yeah, that is a popular thing with Sentai at this point, where they were 50 episodes long, per se. Timeranger is 51 episodes. Okay. But I should point out that Timeranger was the last one, was part of the third era of Super Sentai, which is the Sentai period series 20th century. That's simply what it is. This is the last one. For this era, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is also the 12th and last one for this Sentai. And how many Sentai is this overall? This is the 24th Sentai, and GoGoFive is the 23rd. Okay? But, yeah, it's a good movie, but watch GoGoFive first, and then watch the first 35 episodes of Timeranger to pretty much before you watch this very movie. So, you gotta have prerequisites in order to go into this movie. You can't just go into this movie blind and basically not know. Yeah, if you have a pretty good understanding who these characters are, if you read up on them, you have a pretty good understanding what they're talking about. You have to have watched the previous Sentai first, okay? So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'm talking about GoRanger, the Super Sentai used for Power Rangers WoW Force. Yeah. But before I go, is this movie is it better or slightly better or just as good as Time for Lightspeed? I would say that it's just as good as Lightspeed, but you gotta know but you gotta have watched these other Sentai first before you watch this very movie. That's the only thing that follows the thing back on it. But it's just as good as Time for Lightspeed. Yeah, it's got good pacing. It feels very good. I mean, but the one thing I could point out that's a positive for this one, and I will get to the first team up, and I will criticize the heck out of it. The the GoGoFive only show up, like they show up about 10 minutes in this movie, so they're not, You don't have to wait too long to see the GoGoFive. Unlike O-Ranger versus Ranger, which I will get to that one eventually. Okay? So, I will see you all in episode 8 for Ranger. Okay? So, until then, I will see you there. Bye.